Kia ora guys, I've been asked to make a stone sink for an outside area and I've been given full design freedoms, which is pretty cool. I want to do some expressive design and add some bit of intrigue to it all. You know, use a bit of steel as well because I think that's going to add a bit of extra flavour to the whole, you know, organic kind of stone sink thing. Anyway, that's it. I need to find myself a stone, so let's crack on. Rock. I have one. Right, as you can see, that was taking a long time. I've been lent a concrete cutter, so let's face it with that and go from there. Right, this stone. It's got a huge crack in it. I'm going to hit it with a hammer and see if it breaks, but I'm pretty confident I need to get myself a new rock, which is a bit unfortunate. Because this was much harder than I thought, and I'm a couple hours in, I'm pretty damn tired. Right, let's give it a whack. Right, what's happened? The last stone fell apart, so I've gone and got myself a new one today. I've actually got two more. This one's the best though, I feel. No cracks. It's a flat surface, so I don't have to flatten in the first place, so that was pretty small brain yesterday, not thinking of that. And I've got myself a much more appropriate sized grinder, a 230, rather than the 5-inch that I was using. So that's cool. Anyway, let's crack on. Also, delicious. I had to put on my wet overalls, which is fabulous. Anyway, let's press on. And if you're thinking I look like the penguin, stop it. It's not very nice. Right, it's been a couple hours. It's works like a bowl, which is fantastic, or a sink. I just need to shape it a little bit nicer. So I'm just going to get the surfacing diamond bit. It's just rather than cutting the cutting faces flat, so then I can scoop away and flatten it out. It's coming along great, just very slowly, but great. Right, there's a break in the weather, so I'm going to drill the hole out here. Now I'm going to use a diamond bit hole saw. It's pretty fast at drilling this stuff, slash really, really fast. But we could use a traditional concrete bit. Now the way it works, you put your drilling hammer and it'll hammer away while rotating, which is an imitation of the traditional way of drilling into stone, which is with a cold chisel. Now traditionally you'd have a meter long one of these and you'd have someone smacking them with a sledgehammer and you'd be rotating it and they would just chip away and drill your holes. Random things for you guys. Anyway, let's hole saw this hole out. What's been happening? I've finished the stone, really. Most of the carving is done, so that's fantastic, because that was a lot of work. Anyway, what I'm doing now is a bit of a grill, you might say. It's going to sit at the bottom, a flat surface, so you can put your cups on it, as well as you make sure your rings or anything, if they fell off your hand for some weird reason, they're not going to fall down the sink. Now you could do a standard hole and put in your standard plug slash, you know, the grate thing, but that's not kind of the style I'm going for. I'm going for a bit more industrial, which I think would be pretty damn cool. You know, kind of something you'd see at the bar. I hope anyway, we'll see how it turns out. Anyway, let's do some cardboard aided design. Look at that. Nice. Let's plasma cut that out. Right, all the parts are brushed and finished, which is awesome. Now it's a bit of roulette using the belt sander, because you always seem to get a bit of an electric shock when you use it, and the brushes are like completely worn out, so it's a bit hairy. That's a bit of an understatement there, to be honest. Anyway, it's okay. We've got the parts, and we've just got to fold them up, and then I'll explain how they're all going to go together and create this awesome effect. Right, let's get on to it. Right, we've got stuff lined up using some vice grips, which are very handy. Let's just tack these things together. this is a bit of a closer look of what's happening. So we've got the plate in there that's your flat bottom, so you can put your cup on there. But you can see it's got a bit of a rock. So what we need to do is add these little feet, little rod, M6 rod. They're going through the hole, boom, tack weld them in, seam them up, and boom, we've got some fully level plate with nice little feet that will support it with any weight on there. So pretty cool, eh? Anyway, let's tack weld them in place. Right, the little catch tray. This is where the little fancy stuff is going on. It is just the main tray. It's going to catch all the water that comes out the rock and connects us to our drainage PVC piping. So that's pretty much the main function. But it's got another little secret thing. If you look in there, there's a little like semicircle cut out. Now that bottom of that semicircle is 27 millimeters up from the bottom of this tray. So that you obviously have to fill up to 27 mils and then it'll pour out. Now what that does is it's hopefully going to mimic the noises you'd hear in a river. So as the water pours through the rock, through that mesh, through the rock, and then through the hole, it's hopefully going to pitter-patter a little bit and then gurgle and bubble as it pours into this little catch tray. And then I'm hoping the whole thing will resonate a little bit more to just amplify those noises. So that's hopefully the little cool thing about this. I think it's called audio visual. Not fully sure, don't quote me. That's I don't actually know what I'm doing here. Anyway, it's also got a tiny wee hole at the bottom, which you probably can't see, which means if this tray's got any water in it, it will slowly drain out through a 2 millimeter hole. That just ensures there's no stagnant water in here, because stagnant water means flies, mosquitoes, and bad smells. So that's it. This is that little fancy thing I've been designing. A lot of work's gone into this, so fingers crossed that it actually works. Right, so what we're doing here is drilling into the stone to create the 4 points, the 4 feet really. What we're doing here is bending the 4 legs of the stone. We just need to get ourselves a cute bend. Now we could try and smash them with force, but it would be preferable to use a bit of heat. Oxyacetylene or oxy-LPG would give us the best results. I don't have that though, so what we're going to use is our TIG torch, and hopefully we're going to get ourselves a nice bend and not crack the rock. Anyway, that's the hope. Let's see how that goes. Right, so I've gone ahead and scored the end of the feet that goes inside the rock. I've also thoroughly cleaned these holes of all, stone dust, or sand, I guess, is stone dust. Anyway, it's going to add some MS Bond, put them in, and then flip it over onto the ground, line everything up nicely, and make sure it is still flat, and then it'll set up like that. What is it? Less is more? That philosophy, I don't think I've ever adhered to in my entire life. Just like that, it's done. Right. Let's not mess with it anymore because I know I'll make it worse. I'm gonna leave it and you shall see it when it's all dry. Right, so what we're doing here is actually testing the rock out, or the sink I guess. Now obviously this isn't its final home, it'll actually have a tap here, so it'll actually have the flow off this edge into the middle here, as well as the drainage will actually be going somewhere, not just off the end of the table. As if it just falls off the table here, it's got a meter of height before it hits the ground, so it makes significantly more noise than it does from under here, or at least it combats this noise, which isn't ideal for this, set part of the design of this is the audio. So that's okay, we'll just work with what we've got. You can definitely hear it, it just does get drowned out a little bit. Anyway, fantastic, let's test it out. Right, so the stone sink has worked, which is quite surprising, I know, but it's come out quite well. The stone carving itself, I was a bit nervous with. It didn't quite look the way I wanted it to. Once I started working on the stainless steel parts and making those additions, definitely uplifted the whole design, and I'm really quite happy with how the aesthetics look. Definitely, pulled it all together. Now, the little gurgler thing that sits underneath and creates the noises to mimic the river, wow. Man, it sounds great. Definitely in person, it sounds fantastic. I'm super happy with how this works. Anyway, I hope you learned something from this, guys. I know I definitely did. And I'll catch you in the next one. See ya!